Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And as your wise man, I'm here to bestow upon you the wisdom that you're listening to Punks Talk Wrestling.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Punks Talk Wrestling! On this episode, we talk about this week's Monday Night Raw, their upcoming move to Netflix, episode 56 of Smokey Mountain Wrestling, you better watch it while you can, and all that's happened on the massively successful return of Saturday night's main event. I am R.W. Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the Crown, which is one half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the world. Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England, he is my tag team podcast partner. He is the other half of the Crown, which is the other half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the world. Mr. Did You Know? Sir King of Reels, the proper prick, C.J. Newman!
It's good to be back. 2 weeks off, huh? Not 2 weeks. Yeah, it's 2 weeks. Anyway, did you know that Saturday Night's Takeaway obviously just returned, but it was at Saturday Night's Takeaway. Oh my god, I'm doing it again. So ignore
Saturday
that.
Night's Takeaway.
Saturday Night's Takeaway. If you're a British, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know why I keep making the snafu of calling it Saturday Night's Takeaway. Did you know that in 1988 on Saturday Night's Main Event featured the first ever table spot in WWE history?
Oh shit.
Yeah. The fact that I've been trying
first?
to figure out when and where this happened for such a long time, but I figured it out and I found it.
The very first
1988 Saturday Night's Main Event, a match between Harley Race and Hulk Hogan, not for the championship. And it was in that match where Harley Race laid Hulk Hogan out onto a table and kind of did a weird like axe handle splash type situation. But Hulk Hogan moved and Harley Race come crashing down onto the table. But this table was like weird like laminate wood / metal. It wasn't a proper table. It did dent and it did bend in the middle.
Fuck.
But they didn't have the tables like they do now. But this caused Harley Race to get a hernia, and he was out for 6 months after this.
Yeah, I just looked this up. It's on the Wikipedia page. Suffering a legitimate injury that would eventually force him into retirement in '91.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Yeah, so first ever table spot happened at Saturday Night's Main Event in 1988.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So to answer the question of did you know?
No, you didn't.
The answer is no.
And neither did I until I did, and now I do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And on that note, how's about we talk about Saturday Night's Main Event, not Takeaway?
Yeah. Wikipedia, I'm on a page that is showing every single one of them.
I don't think they give it its own page.
They don't,
it's not
yeah.
a pay-per-view, so that's fine. We got
That's
enough
all right.
details here.
That's all right. Well, you know what? Let's before we get right into it, let's prepare because
Oh,
I've got my generic Black cherry seltzer.
Black cherry.
Black cherry seltzer can.
Very nice.
Blam. Oh, black cherry seltzer can. But I've got a problem. But I've got another problem. And maybe you can help me because listen to this. Listen to this. You hear all that?
Yeah, is that kind of nearly empty?
No. The problem is I have 4 different icebreakers, ice cubes, gums in my possession.
I couldn't tell that by just the sound.
Yeah, no. I made like 4 individual pops.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it didn't come through quite. Anyway, I've got 4. I've gone overboard in my obsession with icebreakers, ice cubes, gum.
I don't think that's possible.
So I'm gonna roll a D4. I'm gonna roll a D4.
I was literally about to say, well, then obviously you need to roll for it.
Yeah,
what
and I'm gonna.
What
And I don't have
do you have?
And well, I gotta take my headphones off for a second because I don't have my D4. I can't reach it with my. Oh wait, maybe I can. I can just reach it. Okay. Hold on. All right. All my dice are on the. If we ever do video, you would see behind me all the wrestling and D&D is all on the table behind me. Anyway, all right, I got a D4. So here's the flavors. Here's what we've got. Here's what we're working with. We've got spearmint, wintergreen, Arctic grape, and strawberry lemonade.
Well, I haven't heard of those last 2.
I know. Yeah, they got some wild ones. So I guess I've put them in an order. And I'll just roll the dice. Spearmint's going to be 1. Wait, I'll put them in alphabetical order. How about that? That'll make it. So Arctic grape. Arctic grape, spearmint, strawberry lemonade, wintergreen. Fascinating. This is
This
fascinating,
is compelling
podcast material here for our listeners. All right, so that's 1. All right, that's 1. So we're starting off with Arctic grape, icebreakers.
I was hoping you'd get that one.
Icebreakers, ice cubes.
Have you tried
Arctic
this one yet?
grape. I have tried each and every one of these flavors already.
Does it taste like grape?
It does. It
Okay,
tastes like if grapes grew in the Arctic. This is what I imagine, and then
and doused in mint.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty good.
Where does mint come from? Mint comes from like a
leaves. There's like mint
leaves.
Mint,
yeah, like a mint leaf. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little plant. We have mint. We have mint growing in our backyard actually.
No way.
Right around behind the garage.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Every once in a while, in like the springtime, summertime, I'll go out. I'll pull some and we'll make drinks with them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on in my backyard apart from weeds. Not weed, but just weeds with just crap.
Just garbage.
Yeah, absolute garbage.
Absolute garbage. Hashtag garbage.
So first Saturday Night's Main Events since 2008, as we just said.
Yeah.
From Uniondale, New York, from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, from the Nassau Coliseum. Obviously, the Nassau Coliseum is wildly famous for professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was the first ever venue for Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Let me... Actually, just real quick, like there's so many famous to the 2002 SummerSlam. I think we did a review of was held at the Nassau Coliseum. Great American Bash 2008, 2010 Fatal 4-Way. The renovated Coliseum hosted its first episode of Raw in October 2018. There's just loads of history at the Nassau Coliseum. Also hosted the opening leg of WrestleMania 2 as well from the Nassau Coliseum. So I'm just reading something here. Sorry, this is thrilling, I know. Nassau Coliseum was the only tri-state area venue that the southern-based WCW was allowed to hold events. Weird.
Oh, interesting.
So Nassau Coliseum, gotta love it. To an attendance of 14,186 people.
Yes, there was. I'm looking up. Because unfortunately, because Wikipedia does not have a full list of our on-screen personnel, I can't run down our normal on-screen personnel list. But I do know the referees, which is most important. We know we opened the show with Jesse Ventura, and we know he did commentary for the main event.
Yeah, I didn't think he did too bad of a job either, actually.
No, I got to be honest. With you.
I was expecting a lot fucking worse.
I'm glad he didn't fall into any old stereotypical
old tropes.
lines.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried. I certainly didn't want to hear any.
The only awkward moment came from when Pat McAfee was talking about his snakeskin jacket and he was saying it was Damien, which was fine. That was funny.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But then he kept saying it over and over. He was having a senior moment, and it was
he wanted to make sure that you heard him.
We understood.
We got it. You got the joke in. We got
Yeah.
No, I thought it was
other than that, I think it was a good idea to have him be a heel on commentary. That's what he was so well known for.
Sure.
So I think to have him just go out there and be a heel, it just came naturally to him. And he had his agenda, he was well rehearsed in the storyline of between Kevin and Cody, so it felt natural. Everything he was talking about made sense, and it didn't feel like he was I don't know, he did a good job at making it feel like he knew what was going on. When in the past we've had people come on to commentary and it's just you clearly don't even know what's happening around you.
That was the main thing that I was glad to see.
That's the fear I had. So I'm lucky.
He clearly knew what was going on. With the current product, and he clearly hates Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that's evident. Even though he never faced his dad ever.
No.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. I don't know why he hates him just for no reason.
But, you don't. Yeah, heels don't need a reason to hate faces. They just do.
Definitely heels from the 80s, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we had Pat McAfee on a commentary with Michael Cole.
We did.
Yeah, that was so good. I mean, that was great. I saw I forget who it was. Man, it was on Threads. I can't shout him out because I can't remember, but somebody mentioned how Pat McAfee as an NFL announcer is just insufferably over the top, but for WWE it's just absolutely perfect. And I'm like, yeah, that's why he's here. We also had, so I can still run it down, the referees, the most important ones. Danilo Amphibio was referee for Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. And Abyss was the producer of that match. Charles Robinson. Yeah, I got some extra information here from 411 Mania. Shout out to 411 Mania for this. Charles Robinson's referee for Liv Morgan versus Io Sky with Petey Williams as the producer. Eddie Orango refereed Damian Priest versus Gunther versus Finn Balor, while the producers were Jamie Noble and Adam Pearce. Jessica Carr was the referee for Michin versus Chelsea Green. Shane Helms and TJ Wilson were the producers of that match.
Cool.
Charles Robinson returned as the referee for Cody Rhodes. I don't know why they say will return.
Why'd say returned? It's like he's not been anywhere.
Charles Robinson will return to be the referee. Their language is a little off. 411 Mania, you might want to check with your editors here a little bit.
Oh, maybe they mean because he was in the match, then he got hurt, and then he did make the final call. So.
Oh, okay. I mean, this could have been information that was happening in real time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, Charles Robinson returned for the Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens, and it was Michael Hayes and Bobby Roode who produced that match. Nick Aldis produced the dark match of Motor City Machine Guns versus A-Town Down Under, which I didn't know about until we saw it on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I didn't know about that till I saw it right now. So
yeah, which I guess it would have. I mean, they lost their title. It's just they wasn't a tag team match because or it wasn't a tag team title match because they weren't the tag team champions.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So that was interesting.
We had DIY pull a bit of a ruse. We thought that they were going to split up and that
man,
Ciampa was being a heel and turning on Gargano. It turns out they were both in on it the whole time. What a great way of doing it.
Punk's Talk Wrestling Hall of Fame inductee. What do I love? When WWE does a thing and then does it again immediately.
Hell yeah.
They did. I mean, this is exactly the New Day and DIY. They pulled off the same essential thing where we thought one of them was turning heel and was going to turn on the other.
On the other, that's right.
And instead, both turned heel, and no one saw it coming. And that's the best. And that's the best thing about the DIY one was because we already had the New Day heel turn, so no one was expecting it. No one at all was expecting it. And man, I don't know that we've seen. I know we haven't even gotten it. I mean, we're not even into Saturday night's main event. This is just SmackDown and everything before this. But no one saw Johnny Gargano heel turn.
No way. No way.
But
and no one saw a Kofi Kingston heel turn either. Like
no. I mean, never would they. I will say this is a little tough. It's a little hard. It's a little hard for me with the New Day heel turn. I know the market for that is a little bit different because there's just something about Kofi Kingston that doesn't make it believable that he's actually heel. Like,
I guess he's never really been given too much of an opportunity to be one. Obviously, at the start of the New Day, he was a heel, but I guess we'll see where it goes.
I guess they were.
At the start of the New Day, they were heel for like a good year because everyone was chanting "New Day sucks."
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Let's say that they introduced them as faces. The crowd didn't like it. They got "New Day sucks" chants, so they just turned them heel. They were heel for about a year until the crowd just come around to them. We're like,
came around to it because because they went over the top.
Thing. Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. I remembered the New Day sucks because they just they thought the whole gimmick and everything.
Yeah. So they just turned him heel. So I don't know. I mean, this is a very different New Day. This is going to be a bit of a mean streak.
It's not even the New Day. I guess it's not even the New Day, right?
I don't even know what the fuck this is. Yeah,
they're not calling themselves the New Day. I think it's just Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. But either way, there's something about it, and I'm letting it play out because
it's super early.
My problem isn't with them turning heel, and it isn't even about their reasoning. It's about their acting. It's about the script that they're like that they're trying to convince other people. Like I get the whole everyone's disappointed in them, and they can be disappointed in them, and I feel like them trying to explain themselves to other wrestlers doesn't make sense. Like that's not logical.
They already have explained themselves.
They've explained,
they spoke to Big E, like that was their explanation.
I guess so. It's just kind of, I don't know.
No, but you're right in the sense that like there's nothing else to explain, and also
just let them be arrogant. Let people be. Stop trying to get people to understand you or get people to side on your side.
Yeah.
Like that's just.
Well, I tell you one person who is siding with them, and I love it completely, is Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
I saw this thing recently, and I really do think that they've done this intentionally. Every single person that has had a rivalry with Karrion Kross has ended up going heel. Literally, go back to when he came back. Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura, like you name, like we're going all the way back to when he first came back. They've all turned heel.
Isn't that fucking wild? And even better, like with the Miz. Miz turned here, and now Miz is trying to get out, and they won't let him out.
Yeah, like you said on Raw, like you've made a deal with the devil, like you can't escape that easily, kind of thing. I absolutely love like Karrion Kross and his character now is just, I love it. It's one of my favorites, man. I'm
so happy. Just stop doing the TikTok. Like he brought it, he left it alone, and then one day he did another TikTok. Like at the end of his thing, I'm like, no,
yeah, he
come
did
on.
A TikTok. I saw that too.
Come on, you don't need that. You don't need.
I agree. I just think he's doing such a good job right now, and he's killing it. He's killing it.
I'm so happy. I'm happy that they let him grow his hair out. I'm glad that they're, because that's what he needed. Like that was. When I've said, and I've said this, you can check the transcripts. You can go all the way back to the Comedians of Wrestling podcast. Shout out to Comedians of Wrestling. Shout out to Supermark Nick Tulo, the current reigning Comedians of Wrestling champion.
Yep.
I know he's listening. But yeah, I've always been. I was such a fan of. When they brought him up the first time and they put a big mask on him and they took away all the other stuff and they forced him to be something different. And I know everybody, and I know so many people hated it, but that's the point. I mean, part of it's the point. You're supposed to be mad. He's a heel. You're supposed to not like him. And I know it was sort of like, it was a last ditch of a Vince-ish era of things. But it wasn't a bad idea. And it wouldn't have been a bad... Like, I say the same thing about the Dean Ambrose gas mask thing.
Yeah.
It was a great idea, but the person doing it would have worked if the person doing it believed in it as well and gave it the opportunity. I mean, look at the New Day. They took a gimmick that everybody hated, a shitty gimmick, and they turned it into a 10-year epic, like... amazing thing. So I'm just glad. I'm happy to see, because this is the Karrion Kross that I was hoping for, was a more evolved.
It's a Karrion Kross that I knew that was there the whole fucking time. Like, anytime I've ever seen him in an interview outside of TV, I was like, this is the guy I want in television. And now we've got him. Like, obviously he's not this sadistic in real life. He's not threatening to break people's kneecaps if they don't do what he wants. But
sure,
he's like, it is him, and he's like, he's a really good actor. I feel like as well. Like he's a kind of character. Like think about it. Like we don't really see Karrion Kross wrestle that much. He gets other people to do his dirty work for him.
Right.
He's the kind of guy that could be, once he retires, he could keep on being a manager. He's a perfect manager, in fact, if you think about it.
Oh, well, why else would they be putting Paul Ellering together with him? I think that is precisely what, when we're talking about 10 years, 20 years in the future, Karrion Kross is going to become a manager of the Paul Ellering level.
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that.
Like, yeah, I think you're right. I do think that, like, I hope he has an amazing career while he's still active.
Oh yeah, I want him to have an amazing in-ring career.
I do think that, like, with his character, there's so much longevity with that. You could really make that go a long way.
His ability to his demeanor and his ability to manipulate people.
Yeah,
like his character can manipulate people, and yeah, just he's got this history and this aura of, it's not the tough guy, I'm strong, look at how tough I am. It is the terrifying. If you saw him if you turned down an alley and saw him, you would shit yourself.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
He's threatening, but he's like
he's the bouncer. He's the bouncer at Dante's in Portland.
Yeah,
and if anybody's ever been to
it.
Dante's in Portland, you know what I'm talking about. Like, that dude is fucking terrifying.
He has said in interviews that he bases a lot of his character work on Negan from The Walking Dead. If you've ever watched it,
I have. That was I got to his part. I
but
certainly
Negan
didn't watch much more.
was very like, it's weird. He's a really nice guy, but he just really isn't. Like,
but he just when it comes to it's the mafia. It's a kind of mafia thing.
It's a mafia
it's a
boss.
Mob thing.
Exactly. It's like a mob boss situation. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I know we're tangenting all the time, but talking about mafia stuff when the dawn of NXT and no, why can't I think of it? Why is it blank? Why am I having a freaking brain fart? Why can't I think of his name?
Who?
The NXT North American champion.
Obafemi?
Beat Obafemi.
Oh, beat Obafemi.
Why the fuck?
I can't remember
Adriana
his
Rizzo
name.
is like the woman in the faction of the family. Wow, this is bad. Like, man, my brain just dropped. Anyway, Tony D'Angelo.
Right, yeah, shit, Jesus Christ,
Jeez,
yeah, why
man,
didn't
Tony
Tony
D'Angelo. I'll probably won't edit that out. Tony D'Angelo, I think, and those guys have I hope to see them on the main roster at some point, and I don't think it'll be for maybe like a year or so, but that would be a good rivalry to see those guys come up and face Final Testament. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit! Motor City Machine Guns defeated A-Town Down Under in a 8-minute dark match tag team at the beginning.
Which we can make no comment about because the only people that saw it were in the arena.
I think so. Yeah.
Good for them. But
maybe-
going to the
maybe
first
beyond-
match of the night,
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Obviously, we go into this match. We're told that Sami Zayn has never defeated Drew McIntyre in a singles match.
He still did not.
Still has not. Yeah.
That that completely defeated streak continues, and I love that kind of stuff. I love a little bit of that. Like, yeah, Drew McIntyre is just Sami Zayn's foil, and which is crazy. Maybe I interrupted and I'm gonna say what you were gonna say. But like, Sami Zayn is the same thing to Gunter in a way. Like,
yeah,
Sami Zayn's the only guy that's beaten Gunter.
Yes, well, so now Cody Rhodes as of recently, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Scratch that. I'm dumb. That doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, I mean, this was. I mean, I love. Right now, what's so good. I mean, we were talking about this in our little group chat last week, but. No one's a heel, no one's a face. Drew McIntyre is totally like vindicated in the reasonings for what he's doing, and so is Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it's personal.
Like,
it's personal. It's just a personal rivalry.
You either like the main one to hone that in on, and that is CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Like, neither of those is a heel. Neither of those guys are a face. You, as the crowd, get to pick who the fuck you cheer for in that. No one is either. Because honestly, they're both doing heelish things and they're both doing face kind of things, but neither of them are playing either role.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not certainly not in a traditional sense.
No, but I guess you could say that about a lot of the stories, right? What Kevin Owens does at the end of this show is very heel-like, but in what he's doing and why he's doing them, there's a reason. Heels have a why now, and I don't think heels have had a why for such a long time. But like,
yeah, we've mentioned this. Yeah, we've mentioned this a couple times because with Kevin Owens is the same way. Kevin,
Seth, and Drew are all on like that same wavelength of trying to like but like they've got a problem with the bloodline.
Yeah. Yes, and every member of them, and it's what's funny. I know that it's been mentioned. It's definitely been mentioned on Threads. A number of our followers and things that I've seen like that. This all revolves. Even when Roman Reigns is not even in a match or in anything, all of these storylines are revolving around Roman Reigns in a way.
Yeah.
Like, and it branches out like in wild different ways.
Yeah, the storyline kind of tree, so to speak, is all interlinked, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing to do, but like you've got, you got this whole stuff with Gunther and Finn Balor, and then you've got the stuff with Gunther and Damian Priest. But then the stuff with Finn Balor goes into the stuff with Liv Morgan, which is with obviously with Rhea Ripley, which ties back around to Damian Priest. There's so many links with different people. It's rare now that someone's involved in just their own solitary thing, something, and it's great because that really fleshes out a universe. I mean, calling it the WWE universe for such a long time, but
yeah,
now like your actions don't just affect one person you're in a rivalry with; it affects other storylines too.
Yeah,
as it should, because that's how the real world works. So they're doing a great job of. I'd love to think that in the writing room they just have this massive interlinking tree where it's like, well, if Chad Gable does this thing over here, then how's that going to affect Roman Reigns in 3 weeks from now? Yeah, it's really intriguing how they're doing it, but they're doing a fucking good job of it. I'll give you that much.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm imagining like the Charlie Day like thing from Always Sunny with all the points, and it's just like, yeah, this is how it all works.
Yeah, that's how it all interlinks. Yeah, but that was a great match. These guys always put on a good match, but it was high octane, really good match to start the night off with as well. And obviously the only non-championship match of the night, so probably the best match to start it with. And obviously, yep, as we said, Drew got the win, and that was that. Next up, we had Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship.
Yes, we do. Oh, shoot, I lost my page here for a second. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, another good match. I mean, some of these matches definitely suffered from the constant adverts that were in commercials that were in this.
And it took me a while. I mean, me and Danny the Brain were live threading through this all, and that was one of the things we first noted. And I was like, there are so many commercials, and forgetting this is a network simulcast.
That's right. It's on NBC.
But even for that, there seemed to be a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
There just seemed to be a lot of commercials, especially mid-match. Like,
yeah, well, I think every match suffered from a mid-match commercial, and I'm looking at this Liv Morgan Io Sky match at a match time of 9 minutes 5 seconds, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like, but that's because you probably missed half that match because of adverts.
Yeah, and that's what made it feel like it made it feel like everything was rushed.
Yeah,
because you missed 2 minutes in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm looking at all these match times here, and I'm like, they're really good match times, but I'm thinking like, you might as well cut 3 to 4 minutes off of every match, because that's how much we missed of every match.
Yeah, and that's something that I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people were very frustrated online about it, and they really, I think they really need to mitigate that somehow, because that it took me out of it a few times. It was just, and then by the time you got back into the match, it was over.
Even if they did picture in picture, that would be fine.
That would have been, they started doing it in the main event. That would have been that would have been fine if they had done picture in picture for it. I mean, come on, guys, like even AEW is smart enough to do picture in picture on their broadcasts. Yeah. Like, come on, just do it. Like,
but I guess moving forward, I mean, at least
especially if you want people to sit there during the commercials, like,
yeah, because obviously when it goes to Netflix, I mean, it pertains to be seen like what's going to happen. But when it moves to Netflix, obviously ads won't be too much of an issue anymore. If you want to do
we don't even know that. We don't even know for sure if that's going to be the case, because we thought that, I want to think like I want to be positive. But remember, even in the WWE Network, when after the first year, they started playing commercials on their own in their own programming. I'm a little I'm worried that they might. I don't know. They might
I don't know,
find a
because
way.
in the British version of the network, there were never adverts.
No. Oh well.
No.
Well, America fucking sucks.
I mean, so we had, obviously, in the UK, Saturday night's main event was played on YouTube, live streamed on YouTube.
Yeah.
So every time there was an ad break, it would just come up with a flash screen that was just like commercial breaks, like be back in a moment. But I didn't watch it live, and luckily they put in all the timestamps for when the show came back, so I never had to sit through any ads. So that's why a lot of the matches felt really short, because I was like, not even having to sit there for 3 or 4 minutes. I just skipped ahead, and then the match was over. So
yeah, I
mean, that's
But I mean, what it's we're nitpicking about things that, you know, this is just us. This is just us being picky about.
Yeah, we're just whining about advertisements. But at the end of the day, I can't really remember too much about Liv Morgan, Io Sky. I do remember Rhea Ripley returning at the end, and obviously she challenged Liv Morgan on Raw last night. So we'll see what happens there. But
what I like about Liv, one of the things of note about this might be it could be a little digibonus that I'll drop in here. Liv Morgan's finisher. Boy, I'm having a brain fart day.
The Oblivion?
Yeah, the Oblivion. No one is ever kicked out of it's another finisher that's protected. No one is ever kicked out of the Oblivion, except during instances where the ref was not available to make make the count immediately. She'd hit it. I forget which match it was, but someone kicked out of it, and it was, I think it was Rhea Ripley that kicked out of it once, and it was because the ref was not in position for whatever reason. I can't remember exactly what the situation was. So Liv is one of the few people who still have a protected finisher, which is great. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I forget I don't know who else. I don't know that there's anybody else right now that has a finisher that's never been kicked out of.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone.
Here's what I like. I don't know if it was intentional, or if I don't know that there's a way to know if this was an intentional, or if she was supposed to counter it, because the end result was Io was doing a move off the top rope, and she kind of stumbled on the top rope and fell in, landed on her feet, but didn't do what she was, I guess, trying to do, and that's when Liv countered it into the Oblivion. And I thought that was a great way of, if it was planned that way, fucking brilliant. If it wasn't planned that way, still fucking brilliant, because that's what you should do. Like that's what a champion should be able to do. You take advantage of a situation where the opponent made a misstep, and you turn it into your finisher. You hit your finisher, and it's done. Boom. We love that. We do love that. So either way, either way, people are talking about it, and that's what you want. I don't think Io made a mistake. I am of the opinion that it was a planned mistake, because it didn't look like a slip. It didn't look like a slip. You certainly didn't fall and injure herself.
No.
It was just like she didn't have the right balance and kind of just hopped off the rope and landed on her feet. Either way, it was. I think it was great. The other thing that I realized midway through this, because we're at the mid, is that, like you said, this is a televised broadcast, so this is all targeted towards either very casual fans, or potentially new fans.
Well, I literally just actually found out, and I think between Peacock and obviously watching live on NBC, they pulled in around, I think it was 2.6 million people watched Saturday night's main event. So it's a lot of people. And obviously they definitely were catering towards the new fan at this show because they did a lot of like the way the commentators were talking about a lot of the guys and girls was like as if we'd never seen them before. And I was like, at the very first, before my brain turned onto it, I was like, I know. Why are you telling me this? And I'm like, oh, wait, shit. There's probably loads of new people that either haven't watched before or haven't watched in a very long time. So
yeah,
that totally made sense.
Yeah. Also, of course, everybody talks about it, and so we'll talk about it too. That the knee to the face by EO, obviously, obviously that was a little stiff. Yeah, that was pretty stiff. I
busted our nose on that one.
Certain it's, certainly wasn't intentional, I'm sure.
Oh, hell no. But hey, this ain't ballet, as they say.
It ain't ballet, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But man, she took it like a champ.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Potentially possible broken nose by Liv Morgan, so we'll see. Of course,
I think she was fine. She was on Raw, and it seems like she was all good. So
9 minutes.
It was 9 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. 9 minutes and 5 seconds.
9 minutes and 5 seconds on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna head towards Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I'm gonna guess at the first on Netflix on Raw. Raw on Netflix. Sorry.
Yeah, possibly. And
possibly. But that card is starting to really stack up now.
Yeah, and did they confirm that it's 3 hours?
They haven't said anything about a time at all, but I think the whole idea is with Netflix,
doesn't matter.
And Netflix, you can just run her as long as short as you want to because you don't have to worry about anything being on afterwards.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. Like, you've got to think for a second, like, this isn't just a big step for WWE. This is a big step for Netflix. And this is a big step for television in general. This is the first ever TV show, forget wrestling, this is the first ever TV show to run live on Netflix every week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, huge. It's
breaking new ground that other sports and other TV shows haven't even touched on yet.
Could never do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They
and in fact,
WWE is once again pioneering the industry.
Yeah, they're pioneering modern day television once again. They did it with the start of Raw, being like this weekly episodic thing, and now it's the longest running of all time. And now they're doing it again, and it's like they're really setting the foundation for what potentially could be TV of the future. It's not about airing on television ad breaks and having to run with time constraints because you got to wait for Sex and the City to play after Raw. You know what I mean? Like, you can just go for as long as or as short as you want to, and that's such a good position to be in.
It's awesome, with the number one, with the number one streaming service too. I'm sure they learned a lot. My rose-colored glasses. I wish we could just have the WWE Network the way it was. Like, the WWE Network the way it was when it first, like, after its first year. The way I have it right now. Yeah, exactly. The way you still have it right now. Like, that was perfect. But obviously, for whatever reason, it wasn't profitable enough to maintain itself. And I understand why some of the other shows, like, they were filling up an entire network of content, and they were putting on these extra shows. Some of them were great. The Edge and Christian show of awesomeness was great. All those other things, the Table for Three.
A lot of them. Yeah, Table for Three. A lot of the all of the documentaries.
There's just so much
fantastic.
And I think more than anything, what it did was it helped WWE, the company, better understand and prepare itself for more higher level production.
You're right.
All of these. Yeah. That's
if the WWE Network really helped WWE in its modern day way of doing, like, the way they produce their documentaries now. The way they produce their documentaries is now almost how they shoot everything. They're so good at what they do. It's a very WWE style of doing things, to be honest with you, at this point.
The only thing I wish they would bring back that they is those theater film style matches where they redid the matches.
Yeah. Those are great.
Dude, those some of those were just like fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll be put on the vote, but on the vault. But it's like I did read that like basically a lot of the vault stuff. Sorry, a lot of the stuff that's on the historic stuff that's on the network, such as like Smokey Mountain Wrestling, all of the old Nitro episodes, things like that. Things that like WWE have been straight and be like, they're great to have there, but no one really watches them.
No one's really watching it. Yeah.
Who are we catering to exactly? Because a lot of people are like,
they're catering to us when we get a fan requested episode to review an old Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You know, sometimes you do want to just go back, but I get it. It's a huge library.
It's really fun to have there at your disposal whenever you want it. But I think when they're looking and they're going like, well, because I'm sure they can see the numbers. It's like, episode 52 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling has been viewed like 6 times since the network opened. It's like, why do we even have it there? Like, it's taking up space that we just
they were using, and they were using it for like they were also using that kind of stuff for filler. Like they would just put on at 2:00 in the morning, you know, like old shit to fill up their space. No, it's perfectly reasonable and logical. No one's going back to watch all that stuff. So
exactly, but will I miss it? Will I miss the fact that I can't watch episode 56 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling?
Yes,
yeah, I will. Because
absolutely.
It's just comforting as it is. It's just because we're absolute wrestling nerds, right?
Yeah, I want to be able
everything at all times.
Well, when something brings up the, when you think about that match from whenever, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, I want to go watch that match.
Exactly.
But
like,
what it will do,
you'll go on it. You'll be on Instagram. You'll be scrolling through, and you'll be like, oh, did you know that Bret the Hitman Hart made his debut in episode 56 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling? What, really? Well, I'm going to go back and watch episode 56. I keep bringing up. I'm going to have to check
you're
out
what you're going to have to make a reel of this. Yeah. We better get these in. We better get these in before we can't.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to know what happened on episode 56 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you know? So
But what it will do, but I think what it will also do is eventually over time, we're already talking about missing it before it's gone. Over time, they're going to be like, okay, well, you know what? We'll bring some of these back in when they have the ability or the bandwidth or whatever else when they figure it out. And like, all right, well, you know what? In 2026, we're bringing all the old WCW back, you know. Yeah, shit. We really need to figure out. We really need to figure out what we're going to do the next couple of months if we're out of old stuff. We'll work it out. We'll work that out off pod.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode 56. We got the Heavenly Bodies, Lane Pritchard Neaton versus Rendo Riggins, Dixie Dynamite, and Len Fields. We had Brian Lee versus Larry Santo. We had the Night Stalker versus Tracy Smothers for the Smoky Mountain Wrestling TV Championship. And we have the Dirty White Blonde Boy. What the fuck?
Wow.
Versus Ted Allen. And then in the main event, we had the Rock and Roll Express versus Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a whole bunch of names that you've definitely heard of. Especially the Dirty White Boy. That's a wrestling name I've never heard of.
Nope, not once.
Not once. I'm going to have to Google that. But yeah. Next match.
Yeah, but you know who we have heard of? Gunther, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest.
There we go, yeah.
In a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. One thing I just noticed that 4 out of the 5 matches ended in a something in 5 seconds.
I just noticed that as well. And the other two ended exactly on the minute.
On a minute, yeah.
But this is, you know why? Because network television.
Because network television.
Because they had such a tight schedule.
Yeah,
that
you've
they're
got
like
a 10-second grace time.
You've got it.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match was great. I mean, I really want to see Finn Balor versus Gunther as a singles match. I think that would be a really good match.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get that at some point. But
yeah, and I think
guys, they've all got really good chemistry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this was perfect. I think this was perfect to do two things and then a third thing.
Right.
One, it continues the Damian Priest Finn Balor feud, which of course we saw what happened on Raw with that feud. Shout out to our new tag team champions, the War Raiders. Shout out to Ivar.
And also, if you want to become a tag team champion in the WWE, all you have to do is have an interview with us 9 months beforehand.
Yeah, really, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, because evidently Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, and Ivar are all tag team champions now.
Yep.
So.
So you're welcome, DIY.
So you're welcome.
You're welcome, Johnny Gargano. You're welcome, Tommaso Ciampa. You're welcome, Ivar. We are going to
Rowan.
take.
You just were injured at the time.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah. We just didn't get to interview him because he wasn't around.
Yeah, but that's all thanks to us. So
it really is. I think we're gonna pat ourselves.
Yeah,
we're gonna DIY pat ourselves on the back right now.
Pat myself on the back. Do a bit of a DIY pat ourselves on the back here.
You know what? Well, I guess
if it wasn't for the advice that we had bestowed upon them, obviously when the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah, you won't get. You know what? I think since we brought this up, it probably would be a good time for us to re-upload those interviews.
Those interviews, you're right.
Or reshare them, or we'll do something. We'll put them up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we should definitely get
/Punk Talk Wrestling.
You know what? I might be able to condense all of these down into. Let me figure something out. We should definitely use those. We
should. Yeah, we never. I know we've.
Yeah, I know we're terrible. We did loads of reels using them, but I really think there's more that can be done.
But I also think we have a little higher reach now, and I think it'd be good. I think it'd be nice for our newer fans to get to see some of those.
We have actually. We are the best at going off in tangents today. It's been great.
I mean, it's also what happens when we take a week off. We've got an extra week worth of wrestling, in our
there's a lot to talk
veins.
about.
There's a lot to talk about.
So we're really really close to 400 followers, which I'm fuck yeah, that's great. That's so cool.
and I know, and 500 is going to be our next benchmark that we're going to actually start. We're going to start actively trying to get more followers. We've been hanging out here. We've been doing this for fun. We have not been putting any real effort into promotion or anything. It's all just word of mouth. It's all just thanks to you, King of Reels, and your hashtags. And people find it. We getting some more traction on Threads. A shout out to all our Threads followers. We love you. Where were we? Oh yeah. And the third thing. What did I say? The first thing was it continues that was the first thing. I didn't even get to the second thing.
Yeah, and obviously Finn Balor has also got the fact that the Judgment Day are they're fractured in the middle at the moment. You got Liv Morgan, Dominic, and Rodriguez on one side, and we got Carlito, Finn, and McDonough on the other side. There's kind of this weird fracture in the middle right now, and it's more so between Liv and Finn. They seem to keep bickering all the time. I don't know. I don't know how much longer the Judgment Day will be around. In the sense of, I feel like they'll cut in the middle and maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But
now that they lost the tag titles, which means Liv is now the only champion. Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Did not win the triple threat to go on to the women's IC match, so she won't have a chance. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll get a shot at that title eventually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or if she goes over to SmackDown, she'll get a shot at the women's US title for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it was the right decision for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this leaves Liv as the only champion in the Judgment Day right now.
It does. So that's definitely going to cause a stir next week, I feel.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with it because Finn was Dom was brought into the Judgment Day through Rhea, and she's not there. Finn's the only guy who has any real authority. even though they're supposed to be all equals, whatever, he's the only original member of what the real Judgment Day, what we said, because Judgment Day didn't really mean anything until Finn Balor came in and they kicked Edge out.
Right.
No, I shouldn't say it didn't mean anything, but it didn't really get going.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Because nobody believed that heel Edge. That just didn't work.
It didn't. It kind of fell in flat.
It was fun. It was fun to see for a minute. It was fun to see like evil and a little sadistic, but it wore off so fast because people just want to cheer him.
Yeah, it is really hard to reinvent yourself when you're that far into your career. And I feel like it was starting to work. I feel like if they kept going at it, and apparently it seems like the plan was to do that, but I think they changed it very quickly for some reason. I heard. But
yeah.
Either way,
because it did. They changed it because it didn't work.
Yeah, but I think it is what it is. And but yeah, once Edge was gone, it all took off from there. But
and the third thing.
Oh, the
third thing, I forget now. So there was only two things. So maybe there was only two things to be good. Anyway, 11 minutes and 5 seconds.
The third thing is Gunther is still the World Heavyweight Champion, of course.
11 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know who his next contender will be. I mean, we got Finn Balor versus Damian Priest is going to be obviously coming up at some point.
I think.
I mean, we might.
Gunther. Again, that might be another. We might see a stipulation. We might see another Hell in a Cell. We might see Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Hell in a Cell, because that's Hell in a Cell is becoming the match for to end grudge matches.
Yeah.
Personal grudge matches. They don't have to be about a title. I just hate you so much that I need to be locked.
That's exactly what the Hell in a Cell was for originally. So
yeah, it was.
I'm glad it's coming back to that. I mean, CM Punk and Drew brought the Hell in a Cell back to its former glory in one match. Boom.
Yeah.
Now the Hell in a Cell, I associate it with that.
You could, you could. I mean, the Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kind of brought, but that also brought it back. Honestly, a lot of that match got overshadowed by Cody Rhodes' injury going into the match.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was brutal. It was hard to watch. It made that match more uncomfortable because of that itself.
Yeah. Oh, totally. For sure.
Good.
But yeah.
I don't know who's gonna.
I don't know where that goes if you go from here, but we'll see. Gunther wasn't even on Raw this week, in fact. So
no, he took the week off.
Yeah. Fuck it. He's champ.
Yeah.
Next up.
No, but how good? Oh my God, how good did Ludwig Kaiser look though in that IC title match?
Oh shit, yeah, he's been great. The triple threat he had with Sheamus and Braun Breaker from the last PLE was fucking great. I thought he was great, and he was so good in that. He focused on the shoulder the whole time.
Yep.
And it was just like he's such a good technical wrestler.
That dude's gonna get. He will get that belt. He'll get that belt eventually.
Yeah, he will be a Continental Champion. I'd love it. He's the kind of guy that could win that or the US title and turn it into the European Championship. It'd be so cool to see, and he's the perfect guy to do it.
Triple H, give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. We want to see that. You know what else we wanted to see?
What's that?
Chelsea Green become the inaugural WWE Women's United States Championship,
the first
and that
ever Women's United States Champion. And it's such a good ending to this match. The way she flipped over on the top rope into the Unprettier, it was so cool. I've never seen that before. I've seen Christian using that move for like 25 fucking years, and I've never seen him get into the move like that. So, fair play.
Yeah, just amazing. 8 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Shortest match of the televised night. The Motor City Machine Guns tag team match was actually 8 minutes, so 5 seconds shorter. So shout out to the women not having the shortest match of the night. They did have the second and third shortest match of the night. So we still got to work on that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, but
we're only a minute or so shy. So.
It's also within. They're also literally. I mean, you have 8 minutes, 8 minutes and 5 seconds, 9 minutes and 5 seconds, 10 minutes and 5 seconds, 11 minutes and 5 seconds, 12 minutes. are the match times. Like the difference between the main event, the longest match, which is the main event, and the pre-show dark match is only 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not so bad, but we could have given them 10 minutes and Drew and Sammy 8 minutes, and I would have been happier. But anyway,
but here we are.
Chelsea Green, your inaugural WWE Women's United States Championship champion. Here's a problem I have. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent rant. I do not like that they use the graphics. I've seen them online. They use, when you have and still and new for the championship matches, they were using the new WWE Women's United States Championship, and I feel like
say and first,
or inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion. I just think that's a little. I'm just nitpicky, but come on, like guys in the graphics department, like do better. Make sure the inaugural when you do the inaugural Women's IC champ, do it right. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all. Shout out to Michin too. Michin did put on an excellent performance all throughout the tournament. She's definitely going to get that belt. She's definitely going to get that championship.
Chelsea Green, like in this match, was like, for one, her attire was amazing. Her attire had her face all over it. And
right, which is homage to, of course, her husband Zack Ryder.
Yeah, and obviously the attire itself was homage to Zack Ryder because she had the one
not Zack
leg.
Ryder. I'm sorry.
To Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona, yes.
But yeah, she had the one short leg trunks, which is obviously what Zack Ryder used to wear.
Yeah.
And she used the Rough Rider as well.
I was explaining
the Rough Rider as well.
She did. So my mom actually watched Saturday night's main event with me.
Oh, great.
Over the weekend. She was knitting a shawl, and she didn't want to get up. So I basically got her to convinced her to just stay there and watch with me. And then so I was explaining to her about it, Chelsea Green's husband, Matt Cardona, he's in another promotion, and these are kind of the throwback to the homage to him, his gear and all that. And so she thought that was really nice. So
I love it when you watch like wrestling with like if I watched wrestling with my mom before, and it's just been like, you're trying to explain these really nuanced things that they won't take on board nor remember in about 15 minutes.
Right.
But you feel the need to tell them anyway.
Yeah,
you just got to tell them.
She just thought it was a nice, display of, that's part of their love language. And
isn't that sweet?
Isn't that sweet? It's just isn't that special?
I love it.
Yeah, but anyway, shout out to my mom for watching wrestling with me.
Chelsea Green, first ever United States Women's Champion. Amazing, good shit.
Yeah,
and she deserves it because she's been killing it since
she really
day
has.
dot, to be honest with you.
And
really super cool that they said that her first ever TV match was against Michin. And it was 7 years to the day that she won her first ever singles championship, which was the Women's Knockouts Championship in TNA.
Yeah, nice little way to tie in a little TNA tie-in.
Yeah, I'm loving the little bromance between TNA and WWE right now.
Yeah, now I know there is some drama. There is some big drama, especially in the women's in the knockouts division of TNA right now. I went back and I actually watched what was it? What was there? Final Resolution. I watched Final Resolution the other night. We won't talk about that here because that's not what this episode's about. Maybe I'll do a supplemental RW rants for the Patreon, patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling, where you can get other stuff that's not on the episodes. Yeah, that's where it is. But yeah, They sprinkled in they sprinkle in I think that was more than once that they made a TNA reference that night.
They mentioned TNA quite a fair amount these days, and that's great. And like,
Yeah.
it would be so cool. I would love it. I'd absolutely love it if Dolph Ziggler could make an appearance on the WWE.
Dude,
Obviously under TNA contract,
Nick
but it would be
Nemeth coming out with the TNA World Championship in the Royal Rumble.
It'd be so damn good.
I mean, come on. I mean,
for it.
Listen, if you really want to get it on, I can't. I don't even know how to do it right. Having Nick Nemeth come out and
It'd
win
be so good.
as the TNA champion and win the Royal Rumble.
Win the Royal Rumble.
And win the Royal Rumble. Yeah, man, win the Royal Rumble. Screw all these other guys. They don't need. Nobody else needs to win the. CM Punk doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble. He can have a main event match without winning the Royal Rumble. Cody, nobody else needs to win the Royal Rumble. But that would be, and have him and then have Nick Nemeth face the world champion. Have it be Nick Nemeth versus Gunther for both titles on the line. Book it right now. Make it happen. Nick Nemeth versus Gunther. Title for title.
I mean, I'd love to see it.
We could do it. We could make it
I
happen.
think you're in a little bubble there, but I'd love to see it.
I'm into something. Yeah. Well, I come up with great ideas. It's up to the rest of the world to get on board with it.
That's right. Right.
It's up to everyone else to
You're just
realize.
like 6 or 7 steps ahead the whole time. You know?
Exactly. They're playing chess. I'm playing
3D chess.
3D chess. Or
could
something
think of a
else.
much more advanced game
yeah.
than chess.
I don't know that there. Yeah, I don't really know that there is another one.
As far as board games go, yeah.
Yeah.
But Twister's kind of difficult, but for the whole body. Doesn't take much thought though. Anyway, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the Undisputed WWE Championship. Fucking fantastic match. I mean,
yeah.
Shit, yeah. I mean,
FFM. Hashtag FFM.
Fucking fantastic. Yeah,
fucking fantastic.
I didn't realize what the fuck was going on. Anyway, 2 referee bumps in this match. We had a fucking crossbody on one of them, and the other one just getting inadvertently just kind of knocked down. But what?
That's why he returned. Okay,
yeah,
that's
why.
What
I'm saying. Yeah, he returned.
That's why they said he returned as ref,
yeah.
because he came in second. Okay,
that's right. But yeah, what's more to be talk about here is, well, Cody Rhodes wins the match, does the old crossroads onto the chair, and the show comes to an end. And I'm like,
yeah. So first of all, what a heelish thing to do.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, right? It's very not Cody Rhodes to do something like that, but I guess if you think about their rivalry that's been going on, it's not exactly been cordial, has it?
No, he's pissed off. Cody Rhodes is pissed off at Kevin Owens for being pissed off at him.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to unpack with that match. Okay, so yeah, Cody's doing heel shit. For sure. And I think it's from what we're hearing, supposedly Cody Rhodes is supposed to be out for a while. Now, there's no chance he's not going to be on the January 6th Raw. I think
he'll be there, yeah, but I don't know how long he'll be out. They said on Raw that the injuries he sustained weren't that bad. He had
they weren't that bad.
Swelling, but there was no fractures or anything like that.
So he's out to the end. He's out till Kevin Owens with the package pile driver beat down after it went off the air. Once again, shout out to Not Nick on Threads, because he's the one. He's the first person I saw that put up video. I don't know where the video was from, but he was the first person I saw that put up video of the aftermath.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I love it. I love that they're doing this again. I love that they're.
Well, this is kind
One-
of how this whole storyline's run. I mean, it was a Bad Blood where the fans filmed the video of their Kevin Owens attacking Cody backstage next to his
Yup.
bus.
So
And we're
they're
doing the
really
same
leaning-
thing again, and it was fucking. Not only did he do a power driver, he did the package power driver. He hasn't done that move since he was in Ring of Honor. Straight up.
Yes. Yeah, which
So-
and I've been watching a lot of wrestling in the last few days.
Yeah.
For reasons. But I was up late and I watched because they were putting stuff up. We were talking about WWE Vault.
Yeah.
And they put up one of the Kevin Owens documentaries. I also watched CM Punk, the Best in the World CM Punk documentary.
Oh, that's a great documentary. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's so much. Like, I love CM Punk so much. I've always loved him as 2024 RW has always
That's
said.
right.
I've always loved him.
2024 RW Hellborn has always loved CM
Has
Punk.
always loved CM Punk. Yeah.
That's right.
And watching that documentary and thinking back to the time that documentary was
made,
reminded me what it was because CM Punk, there's a lot of I don't know how to put this. I only hated. Here's the best way to put it. The only time I didn't like CM Punk was during a time period where I didn't really like myself.
Fair.
And that was most of 2023 and before. There was, I've spoken before on the pod. I've been go to therapy. I have a therapist that's talked me through some troubling things, and things are good. Things are much better. And one of the takeaways, and it was, and this is true. I'm not bullshitting, but like one of the things that I recognized, and with my previous disdain for CM Punk, but mostly the CM Punk in AEW, but it was also mostly CM Punk shitting on WWE time frame, era. Obviously, he was going through his own stuff too. We all change, and you could see with the situations that happened with him in AEW and the reasons why that happened. Why and there were a lot of when you see someone that looks like they're spiraling downward or like that, this is not right. Like, this shouldn't be like this.
Yeah.
Like, there's something.
It takes shit to happen to some people to realize.
Yeah, it takes shit to happen.
For you to wake up and go, all right, what am I actually doing here?
What the fuck am I doing here? This is not who I am. And this is not how I want to be.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a realization. I was still angry. I was vehemently angry when he returned at last year's Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I was as angry. I was legitimately as angry as Seth Rollins appeared to be. and I'm not. Of course, I'm not the only person. He is a controversial figure. That is always
he's
been
polarizing
his thing
for sure. Yeah.
But when you go back and you see the documentary and you get a glimpse as to who he was and how he became that, then it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Get it. I don't hate CM Punk at all. I hate myself.
I do. I actually have that documentary on DVD. I got it when it first came out, but I did see that they uploaded it to the vault, so I'll have to go back and watch it because I do remember it being great. So
yeah,
but
that was a huge turn. That was a huge turning point for me when I realized it's like I'm projecting my own discomfort with myself and who I am and where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm projecting it onto him because he's an easy target to project it onto because he's asking for it. He literally, he goes out there.
Yeah,
he doesn't care if you. I mean, he boos.
I hear that
cheer.
too. I almost had the same thing. I came back around to CM Punk kind of before he came back to the WWE, I think. But I guess even when he was in AEW and he was in that press conference, he was saying all that shit he was saying about the company. he was just saying shit that I could see from the outside within, and I was like, to see someone from inside the company saying all the things that I was thinking were going on there. I'm like, oh, so you're right. That is what's happening there. Then, like, it's not just I'm making this up. Like that is what's going on.
Oh man, the other thing I know this is another tangent, but the other thing I was watching a lot of lately, and I mean lately, within like the last 24 hours, I binged like 3 or 4 hours worth of Inside the Ropes episodes.
Oh shit, yeah. That's
like
great.
with mostly Chris Jericho. I saw one. I was like, oh, I can't listen to Bret Hart. I loved Bret Hart as a kid, but every time I listen to him talk now, sounds like he just sounds like he doesn't want to be there. He
just always sounds bored. Yeah,
he sounds bored. He sounds condescending to everything that's not his side of things.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure some of the shit is true. Like some of the shit with Hogan, I'm sure is like, but even his retelling, you know what they say. Everybody's got there's three sides of the story. There's the one guy's side, there's the other guy's side, and there's the truth somewhere in the middle. Bret Hart is nowhere near the middle. You know.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, after we finish recording, I'll send you an Inside the Ropes video. Actually, it's Wade Barrett telling a story about when he was at the gym with Brock Lesnar, and a kid tried to follow Brock into the changing room. And it is the funniest fucking story. I'll send it to you.
I didn't get to. I mostly watched Chris Jericho stuff.
Yeah, Paul Heyman's done
the Paul Heyman one.
Yeah.
The Paul Heyman one where he talks about him getting put together with CM Punk at the first, and they're like hiding under the dash of the car because they don't want to be seen, and they're just man. That's the kind of stuff that made me, again, it just made me realize. There is so much more to so much of this.
Yeah.
And so much more of it comes down to your attitude.
Yeah.
And how you handle yourselves in the business and behind the scenes and with people.
And I guess at the end of the day, CM Punk did something which we all tell ourselves to do all the fucking time. Yet CM Punk seems to be the only guy a lot of the time that actually does it. And that she's looking out for himself and nobody else. And
he really is.
He didn't give a fuck about what other people thought of him and what other people's opinion was going to be. He stuck up for himself and whatever he thought was right at the time. Now, your opinion can change and your what you believe in can change over time, and it has for him.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
he always sticks by his guns, and he's just sticks to his guns, and I can't fault a guy for that. There
are definitely things I've behaved in ways in the past that I would never think of behaving
right
now. And I regret and learned from mistakes, and I think everybody should at least get, there are certain things that people should get the ability to learn and grow from. Yeah. And that's going to that'll tie into the little TNA women's division drama.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely there are some lines, and sometimes it's just time, sometimes it's maturity, sometimes it's giving people the opportunity to prove they're better than they were.
Yeah.
Or what? But if ever there's a man, I don't even know how this. The documentary that's made about CM Punk in 10 years from now, or when his career actually is finally finished.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll never be. I don't think he'll ever have to be finished. He can be an announcer. He can work for WWE for the rest of his life. Oh, he could definitely be. Easily. If he doesn't become why wouldn't he become a producer or match producer?
He will be. I could see him taking over from Shawn Michaels when Shawn Michaels steps down at NXT.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%, because he's already been mentoring.
He's already been doing it essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyway, 12 minutes. Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and as we said, package power driver onto Cody Rhodes.
On Cody Rhodes. Where did we end up? So we ended up.
comes back out, stands on Cody on the backboard when he's getting put into the spinal ward for the stretcher. And then what's great about this, so WWE has released footage of obviously that whole attack and him being wheeled out and getting put in the ambulance.
The altercation.
What they didn't release is the altercation between Kevin Owens and
Triple H.
Triple H.
They left that to the fan. Yes, they left that to fan footage.
Yeah, and that was fucking great. I saw that, and it looked heated, it looked real, and I absolutely love it. So
we don't know what's going on, but dude, give me, again, because I went back to the Kevin Owens documentary, and Triple H was the one that handed Kevin Owens the Universal title.
Championship, right? That's right.
You know,
yep.
Triple H is involved. This is going to be insane. I know that one of the reasons Triple H retired permanently, he had some health issues.
Yeah.
But come on, man, there's no way you can't tell me they're not working up to one more Kevin Owens versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Hey, it would be cool if I don't know about that far, but if we could, I'm all here for it.
Maybe not that far. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's not that far. Maybe it has to be before that.
But
because it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. But
at the end of the day, and let's not forget as well, Kevin Owens left with the Winged Eagle Championship. I definitely feel like something's going to happen with that for sure.
That is huge.
Yeah.
He is, because here's the thing. He is going to claim that he is the champion.
Exactly.
Because he pinned him in the middle of the ring when the ref was down, and then when Charles Robinson made the pin, Charles Robinson was outside the ring. And the referee cannot be outside the ring.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Right.
The referee and all has to be inside of the ring. So there's a number of contentions on all of those parts.
Right, exactly. So
yeah.
There's a lot to be looking into here. So
I think we might, and this could definitely lead. We're definitely going to see this match again, and we're going to see Kevin Owens holding hostage the OG Winged Eagle belt, which fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's so good to see that
God
damn thing
damn.
back, right? What a fucking championship.
They're just. I mean, thank you, Triple. I mean, I have to thank him for giving me what I want. At this point, you gave me what I want.
At this point, you could honestly, every single championship has gone under such a great redesign as of late that I think the last one left is the WWE Championship. They all have quite a similar look, and that's the only one that really isn't fitting the vibe now. So
that era is over.
Yeah, and I feel like what better time than when you're moving your product to Netflix? Like let's change it. Let's do it.
Also, I can't imagine the spike in Winged Eagle replica sales.
Oh shit!
That happened. Like I almost got myself one.
It's a fucking timeless classic, man.
Of course. I mean, look at our logo is based off of that Winged Eagle design as well. We are living embodiments of that Shout out to our own logo. Shout out to me. I'm gonna pass myself on the back. See, you've got the reels, I've got the logos.
And together we're unstoppable force, huh? What would you give this show out of 20?
Fuck. I'm
giving it a 17.
I want to give it a 17.
Or 16.
Yeah, I think I got to give it a 16. I got to give it a 16.
Maybe a 16.
A 16, and it's really just it's for two things. You could have given one of the women's match a longer time than Drew and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
That knocks it down. And the second was even being network there was just too many fucking commercials.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
There was too many. It was and not necessarily. It was just the commercials were at the wrong time. Like
Yeah, I think it just hurts to have them mid-match. Like
having too many of them mid-match. You should have figured it. You should do it differently in January.
Let's put
please.
it this way: like if you're airing a if you're airing a basketball game, you can't have an ad mid right while the match is happening. You should go for wrestling as well.
Exactly. Why would baseball is the same way? You don't
Baseball,
put
it's probably a better
commercials on.
example. Yeah.
Now I know, of course, wrestling is not this. It's not the same. It is its own. It is its own entity. But a boxing match. If you were to televise a boxing match or an MMA match, like the most similar thing is another ringed combat sport. You never cut away during a fight. Like, there needs to be a better way than this. And whether it's I would rather you now, because I know, because the problem with network and the reason why it's more difficult with network television is because you have local sponsors.
Yeah.
Every network, the network television has its local affiliate. So some of those commercials are geared towards local markets.
Yeah.
And you can't do that on a national scale. But if you have a nationally running ad, just have the announcers read the fucking ad instead. You know,
and plus they got so many fucking sponsors as it is anyway.
Yeah,
so
just let the announcers it's more entertaining for us. I would rather and I'll be honest with you, as a consumer, I am much more likely to care about a product that Michael Cole is reading off the sponsorship for or an advert for than just your generic national ad that you put on there. Like, you've got people whose jobs it is to talk. Give them more time to talk, and that way you can have those commercials. Have the commercial during a long ass entrance. Even I don't care. You know, like, it's fine because you're still hearing the crowd cheering and you're seeing the lights.
Yeah.
And I would rather have that than cut to an actual commercial and get pulled out of the feel. Get pulled out of the feeling of it.
Right.
You know? So that's why it's getting a 16. It would be lower if the matches weren't phenomenal, and if Chelsea Green hadn't won, it would have gotten a 0. You know, yeah, man. But it was a top tier. It was a top tier event.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see the Saturday night's main event back on TV again after so long. So
yeah. So this was so obviously we're not going to review this Saturday night's main event again. So we disqualify this from our count.
Yeah, so we got 37 to choose from.
So we've got 30. No, this one was 37.
Oh, so we got 36 to choose from.
So we got 36. So 36. How do we do that? How do we do that with dice? We've got a D20, a D10, and a D6, right?
That pretty much, yeah.
All right. Do you have the dice? You want me to?
I have no dice. I'll let you.
You have no dice?
I'll let you do the
right.
roll.
So, well, wait a second. This also we run into the problem of we could never get one or two out of this. So what do we do?
How about you just roll roll two D20s?
I've got it. I think I've got it. D6. And I'll roll a D. How am I going to do this? Oh, here we go. I'm going to roll a D. I'm going to roll a D20, a D10, and a D8. And that way, because that way there are 36 options.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Out of a total of 38, because you can't get with 3 dice, you can never get 1 or 2. So I'll just have to So basically, the count starts. So whatever I roll, I subtract 2 from. So now we figured it out now. I think we figured out our system now.
There we go. That works.
We do the dice, and then we do a dice and subtract to get our rate. So this is 1d20 plus 1d10 plus 1d8 minus 2.
Cool.
See, it's a good thing we did that because I got a 1 in this. So this is 14, 5, and 1. So I rolled a 20. So
20.
Minus 2 is 18. So 18.
So 18. Where are we? 10.
Oh, that's from Sacramento, California at the Arco Arena on November 26, 1988. We got the Ultimate Warrior versus Super Ninja in a singles match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. I don't even know who Super Ninja is. Super Ninja is Larry Richard Oliver, better known as Crippler Rip Oliver. All right. We've got Hercules versus Virgil. Interesting. We got Randy Savage, ooh yeah, with Miss Elizabeth versus Andre the Giant, in a singles match for the WWE. So this is Randy Savage Championship title time.
Era,
right?
yeah.
This is singles. So Randy Savage versus Andre the Giant.
That's so weird. Why is that the middle match? And then
this can't be the order. This can't be the order of it because then we have Jim Duggan versus Boris Zukov in a flag match.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
And the Fabulous Rougeaus versus the Young Stallions.
That's random as fuck,
dude. But that looks good. I wonder why. If this is actually the order, I wonder why. I guess we'll find out. Oh, and during the show, Brother Love conducted a special interview with Hulk Hogan and Slick.
Amazing. That's what we always want.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Saturday night's main event. 20. What did we say? 20. No, 18. Wow, shit. The event aired on NBC and drew a 9.4 rating. So that's pretty. Is that good? I guess that's good because I'm guessing it's out of 10.
Ah, here you go. Look at this. I just found something here. Ask a wrestling fan which match on a card is the main event, and you invariably say the answer was the last match of the night. However, for Saturday night's main event structure, it was different. While WrestleMania and other pay-per-views in the 80s closed out with Hulk Hogan winning,
it was the top of the first hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, Saturday night's main event's biggest match often was the first or second bout to air during the program. So they basically would normally put the main event in the middle of the night instead of at the end. Interesting. Which is also funny because Chris Jericho on the Inside the Ropes thing that I watched, he mentioned something about one of the WrestleManias. It was like, is it the last event? It was when he main evented. It was the same night that it was Rock versus Hogan. Right. So he main evented with Triple H for the title, but it was Rock versus Hogan. That was the main event. Was the main event. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is okay, interesting. So that's what it is. Yeah, because God, the other two the other two matches were 5.5 minutes combined. Yeah. So that makes sense. All right, so we'll pick a time to watch that. I don't know when that episode will air. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But other than that, oh shit, I didn't even have my notes up during this whole thing. I had notes. No, my notes were mention the Paul Heyman Inside the Ropes clips from 2016 and the CM Punk Vault documentary. So I had no notes. So I guess that's it.
That's it.
I guess that's it for this week. I know our schedule's been a little wonky, so I don't know that we can guarantee. I I don't know what you're thinking. Obviously, we're not gonna record an episode on Christmas Eve. Probably not. I mean, I can. If you want.
No, I definitely
could. I actually could. I could do Monday. I could also do Monday. We could also figure this out on the pod. Point being, it's Christmas. Everybody
Christmas,
have a,
it's New Year. Come January, we'll be more in a much better place to be recording.
Yeah. Also, either way, you're not going to hear a new episode until after Christmas, even if we record another one before Christmas.
But definitely, I would probably say that our next episode will be our 2024 review.
Yeah. So either way, you know what? Either way, we should. Yeah. Next episode will be the 2024 review.
Yeah. So we'll I'll go to last year's one and find out what categories we selected, and we'll do the same categories again. That we did
any of our good podcast listeners want to suggest anything for our year-end review?
Yeah, for sure.
Suggest it. Hit us up on Instagram or Threads at Punks Talk Wrestling. You can find us on Facebook at Punks Talk Wrestling. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/punks. You can find us everywhere on Punks Talk Wrestling. Just look up Punks Talk Wrestling and you'll get us.
Find it.
And CM Punk. It's us and CM Punk when you search for those three words combined. And I mean, it's pretty great. It was pretty smart of us. It's pretty fucking smart.
Pretty fucking smart.
We're goddamn geniuses,
we're
man.
Pretty fucking great. Huh?
We are. We're you and I are the best.
We are the best, aren't we?
You know, we don't congratulate ourselves enough. I mean, I know we congratulated ourselves several times during this episode, but I think
pats on the back. Yeah.
But overall, like we deserve to congratulate ourselves more often, and and each other for our exceptional work that we do.
You're damn right. Good job,
man. Good job. Good job. Man, Jub Dune.
You beat me to it. I was literally about to say that.
Shout out to Mark. That's for Mark.
That's a good job, Dune, there.
Captain Mark was in our was in our live threads for a little bit during Saturday night's main event as well. Always good to hear from him.
Dune.
Yeah, Jub Dune.
Fucking shit. That was so long ago.
Justin will know that. Justin will remember that too.
Justin, Nitro, yeah.
Nitro was Nitro in the group at that point?
I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah.
I think Nitro was there for Jub Dune. We'll hit up the old Boulette Club.
We definitely need to sort something out there. But that's a whole other kettle of fish in our private lives.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, it is.
Until then.
Shout out to Wikipedia, support Wikipedia. That's where we get most of our information for all of these episodes. Also, this episode, shout out to 411 Mania. Just check your editors a little bit. Shout out to Al at 2K and Kaylee at 2K UK. WWE 2K24, start your legacy, step into your story. Every single DLC pack for WWE 2K24 has been released at this point because the year is almost over. So if you haven't gotten them yet, get them all.
What are you waiting for?
Tell them. Yeah, you've been missing out on an entire year of playing WWE 2K24 if you haven't gotten it yet. And you're missing out on a good game. It's a good game. It's great.
It's a great game.
Great. Yeah,
I actually plan on playing.
All the 2K games.
I've got a night this week where I'm going to be home.
2K Golf.
I can't.
2K Golf is great. 2K NBA. I think I'm getting them mixed up.
No, you're right. NBA 2K.
NBA 2K.
Yeah.
Golf, just
you're good. You're good. You got it right.
Yeah.
You may be getting old, but you're still in touch. It's okay.
I'm still, I'm a year older this year than I was last year.
Yeah, that's funny how that happens.
Fucking every time, every
fucking year, man.
Every fucking year, I get a year older, and it's I haven't figured out how to stop it yet.
I didn't sign up for this shit.
I did not. No, I never did. I never chose
actually signed anything when I was born.
Exactly. No, I had no say in the matter.
Yeah,
it was fucking
got bestowed upon me, and I had no choice.
You know? Yeah, I did. In our conversations with my mom during my birthday, I always joke about. She likes to bring up the joke about how I was originally. She went into labor the night before, and I just decided I didn't want to enter into the world yet. I was like, nah, I'm not going.
Not going tonight.
Not going today. I don't want to do it now. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll be born when I feel like it, on my time.
And that's how you kind of ran life since then.
I've kind of ran life a day behind. Just one day later. Just a day late and a dollar short, as they say. Yeah. And I think that's it.
I think that's it.
We did all the stuff.
And there's nothing left to talk about.
No shit.
No,
Fuck,
just gonna throw my microphone away.
This may very well be our last episode of the year as well.
I guess so.
Because if we don't, it's possible.
It's possible, but
it's possible it's the last
we
episode
could
of the year.
potentially record next Monday. I'll
We
see
could.
how-
We
I'll
probably.
see
I
how
think
it
we
goes.
could.
I reckon we could.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
But until
All right.
then, I'm done. See ya. Bye.
But